Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, suggested MIL take an Uber in a snowstorm. She locked herself in my son's room. MIL said my husband can visit alone with the baby since she is having solids now. MIL texted me tonight to say she was inviting me to my kids' birthday parties. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Suggested MIL take an Uber in a snowstorm. She locked herself in my son's room. Asked MIL if she'd be comfortable with us paying for an Uber to take her to the airport. Use that wording. She's an able-bodied woman in her late 50s. There's a huge snowstorm and the airport is about an hour away. I explained we'd pay for the Uber, even using one of the higher upgrade options. They'd pick her up from our house and drop her at the same place my husband would. The difference is my husband wouldn't be spending 3+ hours driving, round trip, in dangerous conditions, and the Uber would likely have 4-wheel drive unlike our minivan. Last month I was hit by a distracted driver and injured pretty badly, so I'm extra sensitive right now about something happening to him on the drive. When asked if she'd be willing to be driven by an Uber, and having all those details explained, she ran out of the room crying and locked herself in my son's room for 30+ minutes. Husband went in and talked to her, and the plan is he's driving her to the airport in the storm that's now rolled in, and I'm supposed to drop it. Well, her tantrum got her what she wanted. So expect it again. She would rather risk your DH's life than take an Uber. What a piece of work. Exactly. She now knows how to manipulate DH by sprouting toddler tears, and he jumps and asks how high. I'm infuriated by her low blow actions. Time out. If this was me, I can't understand how she wants to compromise safety over her selfish needs. I roll. I hope DH can explain later why your, quite valid, feelings weren't first priority in your own home. Good vibes for him to be safe. Until he gets home, anyway. Until he gets home, lol. I'm hoping there was something in that conversation that will give context that makes this make any sense. We'll be talking about it tonight. Sounds like someone just got themselves a permanent visit ban if they can't react like an adult. She should stay in a hotel near the airport and rent a car at her own expense if you ever allow another visit. MIL said my husband can visit alone with the baby since she is having solids now. My mother-in-law told my husband that he can come visit them with the baby by himself now that she's on baby food and doesn't need me for breast milk anymore. Baby just turned 6 months and barely started purees. Background: my in-laws hated me since the beginning due to my religion and my race, not Chinese. Around the time my husband and I got married, my in-laws got worse, especially my mother-in-law. My husband and I eventually discovered that MIL would gossip about me to the extended family and to her friends. Eventually, my husband took some distance from his parents, and I completely stopped talking to them. His parents ignored him until we announced to them that I was pregnant. His parents' behavior towards my pregnancy and my husband's fatherhood was awful. They did everything to avoid telling people. They initially refused to come to my baby shower. They went around telling others how they would never babysit for us. Thank goodness. Since baby was born, baby and I have only seen them 3 times out of respect for my husband. They still are mean to me. They even make fun of their grandchild for any connection she has to me, like her name, her hair, anything basically. I'm just so sick of them. Even my husband is. At this point, we don't even want to see them anymore. But we didn't want our daughter to lose out on the chance of getting to know his family and her Chinese heritage. But we're tired of all her gossip. We're tired of all her mean comments. I'm assuming your husband knows enough about his Chinese heritage to pass it along to his daughter. The only thing those grandparents are going to teach her is that she's not good enough. They are ridiculing a baby. Who does that? She doesn't need these assholes in her life. She doesn't need to grow up with abusive grandparents. Your in-laws aren't the only source for knowledge of Chinese heritage and history, especially if there's a large Chinese population where you live. Please protect your daughter from them. Why would you want your daughter to have any relationship with someone who seems to be an unpleasant, bullying racist? Your MIL is just going to try and split your daughter and DH from you, while at the same running your daughter's perceived negative, non-Chinese, traits down. I'd keep a very healthy distance. Exposing your child to someone who bullies them isn't okay. You can find other ways to give her connection to her heritage, but letting her be around people who make fun of her is cruel. MIL texted me tonight to say she was inviting me to my kids' birthday parties. MIL, who I have a back-and-forth relationship with, ending our night with a text to tell me that she had organized 2 of my daughter's birthdays and was invited us to join. My only response back to her was, they are my kids, and I'll be organizing the parties myself. MIL went on to call my husband and tell him how I was upsetting her and not being grateful that they had thought up a plan for the girls' parties and I wasn't being fair. I could hear her and told her she had made plans before getting a response on a few questions she had asked about the party planning. My husband told her he would call her tomorrow and hung up on her. I told him how she seemed to think that asking him if she could throw a birthday party at her home for our kids was okay to do, and even when he responded with he would have to ask me, she still goes ahead and plans out the party anyway. My other points to this was, 1. When she said 2 daughters. Our oldest and youngest daughters, she doesn't know any of their little friends, so how would she invite them? 2. I'm pretty sure our 10 years old would want her 10 and 11 years old friends there not have a bunch of 2 or 3 yos running around at her party as well? Or kindly saying this, sharing her party with a 2 years old. 3. Why would she need to invite me to my children's party? 4. And more importantly, are any of my family coming? Are any of my ex's family coming for oldest daughter? I told him he needed to ask these important questions to her to see her response. This is for me to prove a point of several other issues we've had over the years with her. I also told him I don't feel at all comfortable with someone texting to tell me whether I get to go to my child's birthday party or not. I should be able to go regardless. I feel like this whole situation could have gone differently, but she immediately got under my skin sending that message. These are your kids. Why is Deech even entertaining this BS? His only answer to his mother is, that's not happening. JFC, you shouldn't have to explain how wrong this is. That isn't going to work. The kids are not available for your parties. In fact, we're going to have just friends this year, as they are getting older. Maybe we can plan a dinner or something for you guys. I'll even let you suggest the restaurant. Put them right back in their lane. I don't think you understand the purpose of these parties. It's not for the child or their friends. It's for her and the people she invites to show them how good of a party planner and a grandma she is. Make a cute photo with her and her granddaughters at the same time. One giant party for social medias, get some compliments, and that's it. She got enough material for her circle of friends. Why do you have such a long list of demands if the party is for her to be fawned over, not for your daughters? So what did your husband say? Seems like your MIL is used to going over your head and wanted to tattle on you to your own husband. Such a weird vibe. He said he'll let her know in the morning that none of us will be attending, and she needs to leave it up to the parents to plan these things. You absolutely should not ask those questions. The bottom line is that what she did is wrong and grossly inappropriate. None of that stuff matters at all. Don't fall into the trap. The answer is no. There will be no party at Grandma's house. Do not entertain further discussion on the topic, and absolutely do not let the kids go over there. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.